Um, what's up, everyone? This is Press X Start Podcast Season 5, Episode 30. That's 30. We're 30 now. Press X Start Podcast is an audio and video podcast seeking to transform the video game media landscape through an underserved and protected point of view. Restorative justice for the underrepresented programmers, developers, and consumers. I am your host, which is kind of weird, DJ, aka Big Daddy D, aka
Oh no.
AKA, I have a little story from the London letters. This is a new little thing that I'm starting now where every time she does a little thing, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let me tell this on the podcast. So, yesterday, her mama decided to go live her life and having a good time all day. So I had baby duties all day. And that was fun in quotation marks. One time during the day yesterday when London was hungry, she told me she was hungry by crying and yelling and screaming. And I'm like, all right, cool, I got you. I got the bottom ready, and I had her, in baby hold, and she was just not having it. And as I was testing the bottle, all of a sudden I feel a on my face. So I'm like, did you just punch me in my face?
Mm-hmm.
So I gave her the
Dominance.
bottle, and we're good now. Yeah, she's learning how to punch.
Well, she requires more training.
A little warrior princess. Who else is that? Who is that?
It is I. You're returning, defending, soon to be from. No, so you're returning, defending, heavyweight champion from soon to be Wish Nigga Wood, California, aka the janitor because of be watch niggas, aka Metal Mouth Marcus, aka VPN, and the VPN stands for very popular nigga, Marcus Ellison.
Nice.
If you say you're from California enough, you will be from California.
Yep, that's exactly how it works.
Like clicking your slippers.
And who was that?
It's your boy Jordan, aka JXBot, aka the new Sebastian Yolb, who's a rally driver, aka the top don of Chicago.
Oh, top
and
don.
The last cleaner. And the last cleaner.
Great. If you're the top don and I'm a don, that means we have to fight.
Also,
Yeah, sure.
if you're the last cleaner and I'm the janitor, then we also have to fight.
Oh my god.
I know. I know. I have adopted multiple classes. I'm a hybrid class.
And last up,
I am Avery.
nailed it.
Oh man.
We missed you, Marcus. We missed you.
I wish I could say I missed you guys, but I've been editing, so I hear you all the time.
All right.
I know no rest.
With that being said, this is who we are. Before we get into the cast, here's some housekeeping for you. We still got that charity drive going for Palestine kids. So make sure you go to pressx2start.com/Palestine to donate. After you do that, make sure you check out our YouTube page because we have stuff there just for you, fellow listener, viewer, person. With that being said, now we can jump into the heavy hitters, and the number one heavy hitter is Marcus. Where the hell have you been?
So, I was in California for about a month. And
too long, some would say.
Hey, the episode still came out, didn't it?
Right.
I was out there apartment searching, and then also just hanging out with my little brother who lives out there. I was crashing on his couch for about 3 weeks, which not fun in terms of just sleeping situation, but fun in terms of bonding with my brother. It was really great.
Right.
Reuniting with Josiah out there was great because I haven't seen that man in person for like 2.5 years. So that was great.
Yeah.
And the whole experience was really amazing. The apartment hunt is a crapshoot. Still trying to lock down a place, so that's a oh boy. But we're close, so hopefully, all things considered, fingers crossed, I'll have a place soon. And then after Cali, I flew out to Oregon for a weekend, and I did Tavern Brawl stuff. Which
nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. I can't talk too much about it on live air, but just know that things are happening and they're very special, and you might see me on television at some point, but we're just gonna wait and see. You didn't hear that at all.
Don't worry, we don't get the numbers for this to become.
You're absolutely right, Avery.
Promote podcast.
But yeah, that's where I've been.
Okay.
Jet setting around a little bit here and there.
So, yeah, we see on your IG that you've been at parties and such, and it's like, oh, okay, look at
Big
that.
party vibe.
Oh yeah,
giant shrimp all over the place.
I will say before we move forward, because of the way my brother moves, he's a model and he is pretty in California, which means like I'm maybe like a East Coast 7, which makes me like a West Coast 5, but Eric is a East Coast and West Coast 10, which means he finds his way into a lot of different things. And one of those things was a mansion party. He met this girl at some sort of event, and she has like a mushroom-based wellness brand or whatever, and they did a launch party at this mansion. And
mushroom. Well, okay.
Hey.
Okay. Maybe I need more.
She works at Turquoise.
Right. And I found myself at this mansion party in Tarzana, which is not that far from Calabasas, so it's up in the hills where all the rich white people are. And
there's a place called Tarzana.
Yeah, it's where Doja Cat's from, I believe.
Yep. And that jaunt was wild for my East Coast nigga mind. I was like, what am I doing here? I don't know what's happening, but I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm glad we got insight to the conversion rate in terms of beauty, accepted beauty.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn. Looking like a West Coast 3 over here. At best.
But yeah, that's it for me. So let's move on to the next thing, the more important thing.
Awesome. All right. Well, I mean, is this the more important thing? We'll find out. So this comes from GG Recon. Call of Duty Vanguard reportedly won't remove Nazi imagery.
Yikes.
In a move that might seem as controversial, reports have suggested that Vanguard won't make any attempt to censor the swastika. That symbol has become synonymous with the Nazi Party. It's a bold move, especially after the last game to take to this setting. Call of Duty World War II from 2017 elected to replace the swastika to respect the cultural boundaries. Yeah, this is a weird thing. It's one thing if the Call of Duty World War II didn't replace the swastika, but actually, who made Call of Duty World War II? Wasn't that Sledgehammer?
It was Sledgehammer also.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're making this one too.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's
I mean,
weird.
it's I think it's still up to here's the thing when it comes to each of their countries and their rating boards, right? Like if a game gets rated at a certain level, then it just won't be able to be sold, at least legally. Australia has incredibly tight ratings boards, a high degree of censorship in their games. But I would be interested to see how this is going to be enforced with countries like Germany, which has a very strong stance against the usage of Nazi imagery. Like they have the most stringent, policies out there. So, I mean, it's not like Germany is not a big market. It's where Gamescom's being held. So,
right.
This is. I mean, I don't know why Sledgehammer would go this direction. Like why? Like what is this? Was this going to incentivize sales? I don't know.
Yeah, it's. Thanks, Marcus.
No, I was gonna say basically that it's one of those situations where I could understand if they did take it out, but at the same time, I kind of am on the side of like not censoring that sort of thing just because evil like that needs to be like displayed, kind of like how the KKK was in Mafia 3 and Red Dead 2, where it's like, yeah, these are people that are out here, and thankfully you could kill them in the game, but it's just like, to erase those things from like historical events or whatever, I think would be, I don't know, like putting a rug over it, like to act like it's not there, and it is there. So
Yeah, like I'm of two minds of this. Like I think like, okay, well, if you're going to touch on Nazis, then the swastika is, literally a symbol for them. So it's like kind of it's that.
mhm.
The other side to it though is they removed the swastika in the previous World War II game. So it's just like,
Yeah, what's
well,
the
Yeah,
widest
that-
direction?
that
you
is
guys took that step at first, and then now you guys are going back. And then to me, and I don't want to do this because this is literally just clumping recent events together. It's just like, are you guys doing this to kind of try to overshadow the other crap that's happening in Activision? And like, I know that's not the case. I would really hope that's not the case. But it's kind of like, what's the reason for doing this? I mean, other than the fact that we're going to talk about, or in the game, we're going to talk about Nazis and how bad they are and so on and so forth, and we need that symbol to really put a cherry on top or something. And it's just like, all right,
maybe
Well,
they just got.
No, I was
Go
gonna say
ahead,
like
Jordan.
maybe like when it comes to competitive play, like playing online, and you were to play as a German faction or play Nazis, how like that would kind of put people in a weird place. Like you have the giant, Allied flag or U.S. flag or whatever, versus a giant Nazi flag, to which like you are a Nazi
Yeah,
playing in competitive play, and I'm like,
yikes.
I'd
I
say-
think the Definition League may have something to say about that. It's like,
I'd
I don't
say
know.
if
I'm not
they
interested.
were really intent on like removing it, I'd say remove the Nazi symbol from like the multiplayer stuff.
Yes.
But like for their story campaign, I guess if they're gonna have one, then leave
Mhm.
it there because that's part of the story. They're following this narrative. But like, yeah, definitely take it out of the competitive stuff so that there's no like fucking like
You're
Alt-right people just love
right,
like,
it.
oh
right.
yeah, I'm
Like,
super excited about playing as the Nazi team, so I'm going
Yeah.
to make sure I have my settings so do so. I don't think
Like-
that's gonna
Avery, what's your
fly.
thoughts?
I don't necessarily have many thoughts on this. It's how would I to Marcus's early part about the KKK and sort of that in American games. One thing that's I think is applaudable about Germany in regards to the darkest elements of their past. They don't disregard the Nazi symbology in like parts of their heritage. They just recognize as a culture that that's not something they should dwell on. So in comparison, this is like this is more in line with sort of the
Confederate flag.
the Confederate flag is as a symbol that we in America just have to accept everywhere, regardless.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that type of stuff.
Yeah.
In regards to the Nazi imagery in the game, I'm reserving judgment. I think this news was released in the twofold because we still know nothing about this game. It's information is starting to leak, and the Activision stuff is such a big thing that this takes away noise from it. I don't think this was put in the game to take away noise from it, but I think this
Okay.
was released in this form to take away noise from it.
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
I'm also sort of in the mindset that like I don't really want to talk about fucking Activision Blizzard games until they get their shit together. So like
That's also true too. Yeah.
So, like-
Not. Yeah, that's a good point too. I just to actually touch on the whole Confederation Confederate flag thing, how we have that here. That is a very good point because over in Germany, like the swastika is considered illegal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And over here, the Confederate flag is definitely a thing that
It's part of
could
Southern
see.
Well,
heritage or
Well,
something.
that's because America is allergic to accountability. Like we still haven't reckoned with
Mhm.
slavery in this country. The
Alright,
KKK still gets to rock, but the Black Panther Party was a terrorist group apparently. So I mean, like America
Mhm.
just doesn't do accountability. At least, you know, to
Right.
Germany's credit, they said this is a horrible piece of our past that we want to stay in the past, and if you try to bring it up to the present, you're going to jail. So,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
They also recognize it as a symbol of evil,
Yeah,
Right.
right,
Yeah, right,
right.
which
But in that case,
which
it does
which
make
in our
sense.
case, no, it stands for Southern Pride. It's like I literally watched
Yeah.
a video at least like 4 years ago of a bunch of kids arguing about the Confederate flag, and I never wanted to pull out my hair off my face more in my entire life. And it's one of those things like, yeah, this will always be a persistent problem because
Yeah,
there's going
yeah.
to be at least in America, there's always going to be a generation of apologists who are going to try and sanitize this symbol so it doesn't quote unquote. They're trying to reclaim that symbol without actually dealing with any of the baggage that comes with the symbol, which
Right.
I think is deplorable. But in
Right.
regards to
Mhm.
this Nazi imagery, like beyond my, I don't want to talk about Activision Blizzard bullshit until I get their shit together. I'm reserving judgment until I see the game, because let's be honest, any game that's in World War II that has you fighting for opposing sides, you're playing as Nazis.
Yep.
There's no
Mhm.
German, there's no
Yeah.
German soldier in WW2 who's who's like, oh no, I was just fighting. No, you can't just because you take out the German flag off the uniform and you're on the opposing side doesn't mean they're not the Nazis. It's like
Mhm.
that's not a hero there. Like in my, I haven't played any COD multiplayer, especially the World War II stuff, so I don't necessarily know. Because in my head, if they were smart, the opposing side would always be the Nazis, and you would never have to play as that. But I doubt that's a thing.
Right,
No.
yeah.
No, you're
That's
always
actually-
playing
that's-
as
that's a big
it's either labeled as the Allies versus the Axis.
Exactly, and the
That's
Axis
what
are fucking fascists.
Literally the axis of
100%.
evil. That's the name. That's literally the name.
In Gundam, there is a asterisk.
No,
below that.
shut up.
Don't
No.
bring up Gundam, DJ.
Don't
Ooh,
you start
Char
it.
is so cool. Char is a Nazi. Let's move
I
on.
No,
I
Race
just
versus
got
the
back,
Earth Federation.
and you're already on this bullshit, DJ.
oh, wait to the end, my brother.
Oh.
Wait to the
Oh,
end.
God. I made a mistake.
Oh man, yeah. So like this, yeah. It's I'm in total alignment with what Avery is saying in terms of just like, you know, on the face of it, this is just like kind of weird, but also, what do they have plans? What's their actual plan for this, and how's it
Mhm.
actually going to work in their storytelling? So,
Mm.
I guess we can wait and see.
I
also, by that-
suppose.
By that time, I'll be playing Ghost, and I'll be playing.
I
I think my final thought
playing-
about this is in regards to a game like Wolfenstein,
Mhm.
Like,
yeah, big
full of
big
Nazi imagery, just
imagery.
full of it. No one has a problem because of the narrative way they use
Yeah.
it. They
Yeah.
also,
Right.
That is true.
so like, it just depends on how the game comes out and how they use it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, well, can
absolutely.
we confirm that Wolfenstein wasn't censored in Germany?
Oh, Wolfenstein was definitely censored in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they even censored Hitler when he showed up in 2.
Yeah, I did read about
They just
The
put
giant,
a censor bar over his face.
No,
I'm pretty sure
turn-
they got rid of I'm pretty sure they got rid of the mustache.
the what is it? The Japanese like poor
Oh,
thing
the-
that they have and put it over his face as he's moving.
There's 2 black lines.
Every time he talked, he was just a giant.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, so we'll just see what happens, and of course we'll be here to talk about how how it went.
Mhm.
How it went. With that being said, that is our heavy hitters, and before we continue with the quick hits, we have a word from our sponsors. Marcus, what's the sponsors?
The sponsor this week is good. Netflix.
Flamingo dancing. What?
Flamingo dancing. Sponsor us, nigga.
For the culture.
And we're back. And now it's time for the quick hits.
Thank you. Number 1, this comes from PC Gamer. Take-Two is working on 3 more remasters or re-releases, and none of them, I repeat, is what I want. These release actually, maybe San Andreas. Anyways, these releases will join Grand Theft Auto 5's expanded edition and Grand Theft Auto Online standalone in 2022. Rockstar Games will release Grand Theft Auto 5 expanded and enhanced for the latest generation of game consoles, as well as the standalone version of Grand Theft Auto Online on November 11th. Take-Two has had a very aggressive release schedule in the past few years and has announced plans to release 62 games by 2024.
Jesus.
So the 3 games that are people are speculating that it's going to be Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's pretty cool.
Yep, just more evidence that Rockstar never, ever, ever has to make Grand Theft Auto 6.
I mean,
that's very true.
It does feel, if they're going back to Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, like there's, I don't know, it just feels more warranted as a remaster because of how far we are since those releases. So, I mean, like I don't have a problem. I mean, I don't expect anything like from the ground up per se.
That'd be a remake, yeah.
A possible, build that is similar to what PC gamers are going through in terms of an enhanced GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas experience. I mean, the PC ports look great for the mods.
I think the other side to the story is that Take-Two has been taking down people who've been doing GTA mods and such.
Yeah,
prepare for this.
Slapping them down.
If I'm being honest, I don't really understand the appeal of remasters to a degree, just because I don't know, it's not really bringing anything new to the table. It's just kind of re-releasing the game, like maybe polishing it a little bit, but like, come on now, Grand Theft Auto 3 is still going to look like trash now, considering the advancements that we've seen, unless you remake it. So I don't know. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but at the same time, like Grand Theft Auto has so much like longevity at this point. Like it's basically Rockstar's Fenty. Like Rihanna never has to make music again because she's just coasting on that makeup, and that's the same thing with Rockstar. They're like, we might make another Red Dead game, but y'all ain't never getting no GTA 6.
Speak on it.
The way I look at it as in terms of them remastering the GTAs of the old, I look at it as, they're constantly in the like, top 10 or top 20 charts. And I think it's a thing where, the people that are jumping on are like, of course, younger than us. So they don't even have any context of where GTA came from. So I'll be fascinated to see how they promote this and if any of this actually works. Like if any of this is actually connected to GTA 5 in any way, like in the game, where it's just like, oh, you can, if you play Grand Theft Auto 3 for a bit, we'll give you a shark card or $1 million or something. No, Avery, you said no. You don't like any of this?
No, I mean they're not going to give you anything. Their entire business model is based upon people rebuying the game multiple times. They're not going to give you anything.
That's true.
We're going to give you a second chop.
Speaking of this, actually, I was looking through the PlayStation Store, and I don't know why I was there, but I just saw that I could redeem like what, $1 million or something GTA bucks, and I'm like, sure.
There's a partnership between Rockstar and Sony. Like every month you get $1 million. I think it goes into November, but it's been like that for a while now.
I believe it was supposed to go until GTA 5 released on PS5.
Oh, I got money I need to redeem.
Do you? Are you actually going to apply GTA 5 online?
I would love to get back in the GTA 5. The only thing that had me was the it's not even the controls. Like I used to the controls. It was just the way that the character moved was always so weird to me. Like you would stop and then like the character would run a couple extra steps. And I felt like that always got me in trouble in terms of now I'm falling off of something.
You tell me you don't do that. You don't do that in real life. You don't stop and then like kind of
your legs are so
yourself?
long. You would think that
I figured that out a long time ago.
Oh.
When I stop, I need to throw my butt backwards.
Oh,
And you're walking
And when
wrong.
I do that, it prevents me.
This man needs to
Hey.
throw his ass in a circle so he can not fall over.
Marcus, no, I said I throw my ass back.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Girl, you look good when you're back.
Why does that guy run and stop like that?
Oh man.
And that, boys, is how I invented twerking. Number 2, this comes from GameStop. WB Games explain why zombies sound racist in Back for Blood.
Nigga.
Hey, you know what? I'm not trying to say take it out, but at least have the option.
Yeah.
Because if zombies that word, then I might, play the game a little bit harder.
It's a little bit too true to life.
All right, so as initially reported by Kotaku, players first encountered the seemingly racist zombies. No, we should say racist zombie, the one, during Back for Blood closed beta, with Twitter user HomBKE.
Yeah.
Humby. Okay, sure. Posted a clip from the game of a written yelling some version of the N word. I believe the zombie was like,
Where's your father? Damn.
So according to WB Games, the soundbite is the result of 2 voice lines playing on top of each other.
Which is,
Yep. Yeah.
Thank God for betas.
You just wait.
Shit like this.
You just wait until they do the patch where they call you a moon cricket instead.
Hey, it's just 2 sound bites playing on top of each other, guys.
Yes, one that says nig and the other that says gur.
If you listen closely, they kind of are between the 2 G's.
It's crazy when able to catch that. Just crazy.
That is. I actually watched the little video that person played. It is very much so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kill that zombie right now.
Imagine if you get killed by that zombie. You gotta uninstall the game.
Never. It's like, what? All right, so this comes from number 3. It comes from comicbook.com. Sony and Funimation complete acquisition of the rest of the anime industry. For those unfamiliar with this saga, Sony Pictures Entertainment announced its interest in Crunchyroll last year after AT&T confirmed it was interested in selling the brand. The deal was made shortly, but it has been caught up in legal observations. Given the size of anime's growing industry, federal bodies had to oversee the acquisition to ensure Sony's purchase did not cause a monopoly. And they had to go to jail and all that stuff. Now the acquisition has been approved to the tune of $1.17500 billion. Yeah, they did it. They have all the animes now, which is cool if you have a PlayStation Plus membership, because this comes from comicbook.com as well. PlayStation Plus reportedly getting a big upgrade that will cost PS4 and PS5 gamers more money. The company is potentially planning to bundle Crunchyroll with PlayStation Plus as a premium version of PlayStation Plus, which currently costs $60 a year. And this is all that's a rumor and speculation. There was some rumors that someone had said PlayStation Plus is going to get a bump in price. It's going to have new stuff, maybe bundling movies and TV stuff, and with this whole anime purchase, it's kind of it makes sense that they might end up doing this. So,
I have a quick question for Avery specifically.
Yeah.
Do you think that with this new acquisition of Crunchyroll and Funimation and whatnot, Do you think we're gonna get Chainsaw Man on either of those, or do you think that's not
I
gonna
mean,
get there at all?
yes, 100%. Well, it depends on how dumb Netflix is. Uh, there was a period of time before this merger happened where Crunchyroll and Funimation were pretty much working together. And what would happen was Crunchyroll would get everything in Japanese, and then when it wanted to be dubbed in English, Funimation would get it. And then that partnership broke up, and then suddenly both services lost a shit ton of content, and they went their separate ways. And then Netflix showed up and disrupted the anime industry by blopping a Netflix symbol on it, like we made this, and then waiting 6 months to release it.
Right.
And my big thing with the quote unquote monopoly of this is that for the most part, Crunchyroll and Funimation are not making content. They're simply licensing it.
Right.
They're bringing it to a Western market. They're not.
Mhm.
This just comes.
Yeah.
It just comes down to who is making it available for us, which I can see is a monopoly. But this is I can see the legal definition of a monopoly, but I don't think it works in the same way that we talk about games or anything like that.
Right. It is a thing where Sony's just getting the money.
Yeah, like Sony has an anime studio, Aniplex, who specifically makes.
Oh yeah.
anime.
Wow, I forgot about Aniplex.
Yeah.
They make some good ones.
Yeah, like this is. I am super excited for this. Like straight up, like I've been waiting for this deal to fucking go through. I spend $20 a month just on anime between Funimation and Crunchyroll, and the sheer idea that A, I can cut that price down in half, or B, somehow bundle it into my PlayStation Plus, for me, works. From the language that I've heard, they indicate this as a premium, which to me seems like a tier version of PlayStation Plus, and not just, hey, everyone in PlayStation Plus, here's we're charging you $10 more, and here we're giving you anime whether you want it or not. This definitely sounds like there's going to be the PlayStation Plus normal, and then there's going to be a PlayStation Plus premium model, which also having this content. I think.
Let me ask you a question, Avery.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a question to the group. How much extra do you think is going to go on top of the PlayStation Plus subscription?
Theoretically,
$5
to $10. $5 to $10.
5 to 10.
Oh,
I'm just saying 5, but
Okay.
yeah, in that range.
What did you think, DJ?
My greedy ass jumped to $100.
Look, they're smoking crack.
It's very,
Very-
DJ, I understand where DJ's coming from. Yeah, theoretically, based on the numbers I just said, they could get away with charging at most $60 more on top of PlayStation Plus to justify this premium. But realistically, I think Sony is going to bump it up to 5 to 10, because you can, because like it's an additive system to enhance PlayStation, so you're not enhanced, like, and you can get it elsewhere. Like they're not cutting off your people who want a Crunchyroll Funimation thing. You can get it independent of the PlayStation ecosystem.
Right. That's a good point too. Yeah.
Comparatively, this is probably one of the largest acquisitions in the last year. You know, this is about a fourth the size of what, well, no, not a fourth, but like maybe an eighth the size of what Xbox paid for Bethesda. So they're expecting some returns.
Also, I also want to clarify it, since we're bringing up Xbox. This is a Sony Entertainment purchase that's going to affect PlayStation, unless a PlayStation pushing Sony to buy Funimation, Crunchyroll.
All right, we'll see what happens, and my wallet can't wait. Number 4. This comes from GameSpot. Abandoned PS5 demo delayed by technical issues. Oh my! I can't believe
people are grifters.
In a series of tweets,
they're grifting our timelines.
In a series of tweets, the studio, Blue Box Studio, says it encountered multiple engine issues following a graphical glitch that was spotted in the demo last minute. The dev saying that testing is almost complete and that we are 100% real and are working on a passionate game we believe in quotation marks. Yeah, it's one of those things where at this point, if this is not a Kojima thing, and this is just a dev that is literally throwing everything to the wall and be like, yeah, we're definitely not a Kojima thing, but we're gonna pretend like we are. Like
It is.
when this comes out, if this comes out, it
The,
is
the trailer has already dropped.
really.
Yeah, it dropped like a couple of days ago, and it was literally just a trailer that they released on Twitter.
Was it with the guy's face blurred out in the background?
No, it was like the Blue Box Entertainment released a trailer on Twitter. Like the image that you saw was a promotional image,
Yeah.
promoting the app. But they released a Twitter video about whatever their game was going to be, and then when the app launched, the video we got was that same Twitter video.
Yeah, it was like a dude walking to a doorway, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was like 7 seconds.
Oh. Okay.
But I mean, is this Silent Hill? Is this what is it?
It's definitely not Silent Hill, because the greater scuttlebutt in the video game industry is that the studio that made The Medium, which is okay, is making the next Silent Hill, which is going to be interesting. And frankly, after this roundabout, I just don't want to talk about this team at all. Like, they burned any and all goodwill that anyone would have in them. Like, there are a bunch, like, I'm not talking about the diehards who bet the farm on whether this was going to be a Kojima game or a Silent Hill game, but I'm just talking about the general gaming audience as a whole. Like, they have shit the bed with this marketing. It's completely indefensible, any marketing decision that they made going forward. Like, I was ready to be like, okay, this marketing app thing seems an interesting thing, but then they launched the app, and then instead of showing the game, they replay the Twitter video that already been shown.
I just watched.
Yeah.
This is what the fuck, man. Okay. My question is, how come PlayStation isn't like, okay, guys, what are you doing? Like, they're messing up. They're not messing up. They're messing with like Kojima stuff.
Well, they're not messing up. Well, they can't really do anything about that. I mean, I don't know. From what I can tell, unless they breach whatever like deals that have been made, or do something truly indefensible, I don't think Sony can really do anything about the way they're marketing this game.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think they have control over that. And so, because here's the thing, Sony promoted this game once on the PlayStation blog, and then that's been it.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me sounds like
that was
they were a team who went through the process of indie representation on PlayStation, did all that shit. PlayStation saw the game, like, oh, this is pretty cool. We're gonna allow you to promote it. We made the blog post, and they moved on. This isn't a game they're showing off in any trailers or anything like that. It's just a thing.
Right. All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Number 4, this comes from GameSpot. I'm sorry. ID at Xbox Twitch Showcase Roundup. So basically, they had a bunch of games come out, including Stardew Valley, which is on Game Pass, Sam & Max Save the World Remastered, Library of Runia, Aeon Drive. That's what it is. Aeon Drive. There we go. Lab Rat, no S, OlliOlli World, Space Lines from the Far Out, and The Big Con. So these are a couple of games that it showed. Pretty cool. Stardew Valley is probably the one that speaks out the most to me. It's a great game.
It would, DJ.
It's a great game, Marcus.
It's a great infidelity simulator. That's what it is.
It's only infidelity if you choose to.
Wow. I didn't mean to cheat on you. You chose
Abigail.
I'm sorry, but those pixels are so enticing.
It was her purple hair. So yeah, that's cool. On top of that, Nintendo also had a indie showcase, and they showed a couple games there. The thing that stood out to me was Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is, you might be wondering, what is that? It's basically Jet Set Radio with jet grind radio, but you can skateboard, you can rollerblade, and you can parkour. So that's pretty dope. Also, the music in the trailer is oh, it's beautiful. It's literally a work of art. I love it.
Nice.
Number, I guess we can call this number 7. This comes from Tech Times. Xbox opens discussion regarding bringing Game Pass to other consoles. So Xbox boss Phil Spencer has recently opened up discussions with these console makers on the possibility of bringing Xbox Game Pass to their systems. Spencer hasn't
Shied.
okay. Yeah, hasn't shied away from making its own. Wait. Oh, making it known that he wants Game Pass to permeate. Okay, I'm gonna restart this. Okay, Spencer hasn't shied away from making it known that he wants Game Pass to permeate at almost Jesus. Having a brain
Most
fart.
every major
Every gaming platform in the market, even those that have absolutely no connection to the brand as a whole. So basically, he's trying to get Game Pass on everything, and
impossible.
yeah,
Impossible. Like it's something that is a long pipe dream away. Like I don't see Game Pass on PlayStation. I don't see Game Pass on Nintendo. Like even though Phil Spencer wants to play the role that we're trying to compete with Amazon and Google and shit like that. No, like they're still your competitors. They're still in the same section of Target and Walmart and FYE and all this other shit. But no, there's already pathways that they've chosen in case it being the cloud and it being Game Pass for PC. So like, there's no. I mean, he has big ambitions, but that's long into the future. Like that is not immediate.
The only way this would feasibly happen is if A, the wall guards between consoles just disappear and everyone just start releasing games everywhere, which that will never happen. Or C, which is the long pipe dream thing, which we'll see, is whether Game Pass becomes so big of an entity that it encompasses gaming and it would be financially irresponsible for other console makers to not have it on their platform, which I don't see happening anytime soon, as long as both console manufacturers have, specifically Nintendo and Sony, have their own pathways of revenue that Game Pass can't even match. In that we will never see a God of War or Horizon on Game Pass. We'll never see a Mario or Super Smash Bros. On Game Pass. So until those avenues, so like fundamentally, if we're selling game, like Jordan would probably know more about this than I do, but this is just my interpretation. The strength, what is the strength of a Netflix-like service? Is it the catalog of content that it has revolving through it, or is it the original content that it puts out?
Right. Yeah. Like it's Game Pass, like that's why they bought those 23 studios. Like that's why, Forza and Halo and Gears of War and Starfield and all these other first party games are gonna be released day and date on that product. Like that is what is the robustness of it. And even with those partnerships with those publishers and developers, kind of gated to that one specific pathway. Like it's no longer Xbox exclusives. Like they've kind of turned their stuff into Game Pass exclusives, which is interesting.
Yeah,
you can use an Xbox, but you don't have to.
Right. All right. Last up is we're just gonna clump this together. The first one comes from Forbes. The Diablo 4 game director, lead level designer, is no longer at Blizzard. Multiple sources suggest incredibly high profile figures are out of Blizzard. Includes Louis Barbriga, who's a game director. Barbriga. Okay. Jesse McCree, who's a lead level designer, and Jonathan LeCraft, who's also a level designer. They worked, on the Diablo 4 and World of Warcraft. There's no reason given for their departure, but we kind of have an idea. And then to basically just mesh onto this. This comes from Game Rant. Overwatch League casters are avoiding saying McCree's name. Essentially, the Jesse McCree person who's the lead level designer, McCree, the game character, was named directly after him. So, of
That's
him
pretty
leaving,
lame and self-serving and weird.
yeah, the thing is like we don't know exactly why the character was named after Jesse McCree, and the
Which is interesting also because
He's-
he's modeled after Matt Mercer.
oh.
He's not modeled after Mercer.
Well,
Mercer.
he looks like him
Mercer-
and he voices him.
Well, yeah, but like the design came first. Mercer came second.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
But it just happened to line up that way, I guess.
I don't even know who Matt Mercer is.
He's the dungeon master for Critical Role. You've probably heard him in 1,000 video games.
Yeah, he's a
Oh.
big voice actor.
Okay. Yeah. Again, just it's just more. It's good to see people leave the studio who need to leave if that is the case.
You need to leave. I do wonder, not to make it like a whole conversation piece, but I do wonder if going forward, like with Overwatch 2, whenever it comes out, if they're just gonna straight up rename McCree, or if they are going to, I don't know, somehow implement changes going forward, even in the base game. But
I mean, they can just add a really small lore line where it's like, the McCree you knew died in a trash
Right.
fire, and his twin brother Frank McCree is now going to take his place.
or even simple as like, he adopted a new like vigilante name like Deadeye or something. Like it like really it wouldn't be that hard of a thing to change,
Yeah.
but I'm just curious whether or not they will do it or not. If they think that that's a necessary enough.
So if his name becomes
Change.
Deadeye, does his ability become Jesse McCree?
No, just call it High Noon.
Oh, there you go. It was right in front of me the entire time. Well, with that being said, that is our quick hits. Now it is time to talk about what we have been playing. Jordan, what have you been playing?
I've continued to descend with the ascent. It feels like I'm getting deeper into it, and I will say this game is becoming more of a game that I can just turn my mind off and play. Not
Oh,
have to
really?
truly think about anything. I mean, there's you still have the RPG element in it, but it's a twin stick shooter. You're blasting people away, and gory, bloody bits. And all the same sentiment I had regarding its visuals and sound design and gameplay they remain the same. I haven't run into any issues related to bugs, and the story's fine. I do think the world building is unique enough for me to remain at attention. But yeah, I mean, just check it out if you can. It's also available on Steam and all that. I'm playing Art of Rally, and I've talked about racing games in the past, on this
Okay,
channel.
that game, yeah.
And I'm like a big, racing game fan. But this game is one of the most difficult racing games I played in quite a long time, because basically you're pulled out third person all the way out, looking down on the car, almost top down, and there is no map. You just have a straight. You have an understanding of how long the track is in your relation to completing it. You don't have any point of reference related to other drivers that you're competing with. So you're just trying to have your best run. And I have not gotten, I've only gotten first place out of the 7 races I've done so far once. So
Okay, I have a question.
It's a beautiful game. What's up?
It looks great. It's one of those games where the art style and camera work makes every frame of it look like art. But what is controlling the car like? Like,
I mean,
how does
it's
that even?
right trigger for gas, left for braking, B for e-brake, and yeah, those are your main buttons that you're using in the control stick to steer your left control stick. But you cannot change the the orientation of your camera, though.
Gotcha.
Kind of locked into it. And it's difficult because a lot of these tournaments are procedurally generated. Like you don't know what maps are coming up next. But it does kind of cover the legacy of the golden era of rally driving, be it the late 60s to mid and 90s. So I'm currently in the 70s right now. And aesthetically, it's a great game. But I've also been playing Hades. And if you've been following this podcast, I've been ridiculed many times for not playing it or not being able to play it.
Well, no. It's not that you weren't able to play it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to have bought it.
I mean, I am technically buying it through GamePass, like Xbox already paid Hades the amount of money they agreed to for them to have it on GamePass. So clearly, I mean, we don't like that. Like that's the thing when I hear stuff like that, like, oh, I'm paying games for free. I'm like, no, I'm paying.
You're not paying games for free, but you don't own the game. That's
real quick.
I don't own the game, but I have an option to purchase it at a reduced price because of Game Pass.
Because I have no shame, we can actually get into this real quick. So there was a conversation on our Discord between me and Jordan where we talked where he mentioned about playing Hades, and I was like, oh, that'd be an interesting game for you to play. And he was like, yeah, I'll play it. And I was like, okay, you should definitely play it. Some time passed. I completely kind of forgot the conversation. I was like, Jordan, how come you're not playing Hades? His response was, because it's not on Game Pass. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. No. But then some more times passed. I'm like, Jordan, play Hades. And he's like, it's not on Game Pass. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you didn't say. And
that's what I said.
Some more time passed. I'm like, Jordan, play Hades. And he's like, it's not on Game Pass.
Exactly.
Like, oh, yeah.
But we remember that rumor that we had that it was coming to Game Pass. I'm like, it's probably gonna be on Game Pass, and then bam,
I definitely took that rumor as it's on Game Pass right now, and I'm like, Jordan, why aren't you playing Hades?
And here we are. I'm playing Hades, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's a great game, great voice acting, tight controls, and it's possibly one of the first roguelikes I'm actually gonna enjoy because I don't play roguelikes too much, but this is one that's gonna retain my interest. The controls are great. I'm truly enjoying it.
Nice.
I'm also
really go ahead.
No, that was it. That was all I was gonna say for it.
Oh, you can continue. I was gonna say I also like playing Hades, but I've said it on the podcast before.
Yeah, I also own Hades on PlayStation 5. I just refuse to play it until they patch in cross save, which is bullshit. That it's a thing on Nintendo Switch, but not on fucking PlayStation 5 or Xbox for that matter.
Oh.
I have like 100 something hours on PC that I would love to get trophies on, and I can't. I'd have to restart the entire game. And I'm like, I love Hades, but I don't love it that much.
Yikes.
And I have never played Hades.
I mean these last ones quick. Empire Sin, basically XCOM, but you are a mob boss and you go around Chicago. Same type of style of turn-based strategy type game. Gather resources, create alliances, focus on rackets, be it casinos, brothels.
This is that black and white game, right?
No, it's not black and white. It's full color, but it's like XCOM though. But you have the whole city of Chicago
because it's about the mafia.
Actually, no. Like that was actually what I was most surprised about because it has so many different types of mafia bosses you can pick from. You have black ones, you have Italian one. Well, of course you have Italian, but Irish, the Irish mob. You have women mob bosses, and there's like 12 or 13 different mob bosses you can pick from, and they all have their special attributes that for a certain style of play. Some are good with speakeasy, some are better with bribing the police. Some are better with political capital, and it's a resource management XCOM style game.
It's also on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm playing it on PC. I'm playing Dodgeball Academia. Nothing about this game is related to My Hero Academia, if you believe that. I'm just playing. The game has the literal same aesthetic as My Hero Academia, but it's kind of like a RPG Pokemon style game to which you have been selected to be a part of this Dodgeball Legacy School in this world where Dodgeball is the determinant between good and evil, and you go around trying to recruit other dodgeball masters, gain skills. It's just a RPG.
Anime ass game.
It has the art direction of Cartoon Network's Gumball.
Oh.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it looks like it came directly out of that like animation house or whatever that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I haven't played it. I've seen some stuff on it and it looks interesting.
Okay.
And then last up,
And
Jordan.
I played Back for Blood, and if you were interested in a Left 4 Dead 2 sequel or Left 4 Dead sequel, this is it. This game pretty much nails it on the head. And this is, of course, a beta, so any type of glitches and other type of like audio hiccups or performance issues that I may run into, is excusable for now. Hopefully they do not persist when the main game comes out. But yeah, like I was able to play a few levels of it. There is a. Mm-hmm.
This is coming from the same Jordan that went, I believe, on podcast saying, "I will not play betas or demos. I will play the full game when it comes out."
When did I say that?
That I could. It might be on Slack. I think he said it on our Discord chat. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. You definitely
pull up
said
them
that.
receipts.
I was just like, all right.
But I would never, because I mean, I have like when I was checking my application I had access to, I played betas in the past.
Okay. I don't have a problem with you playing betas, Jordan. Is that what you said? I was like, oh, that's a stance right there.
Like wow, I would love to see that. But I mean, I wasn't able to try the crossplay of this because I have some people, playing on PS5 that I played Outriders with, which worked fairly well. But I just wonder if there's a cross communication component to which I don't need to be in the PlayStation app on my cell phone to communicate with people. That shit was fucking ridiculous. Yeah. But in terms of the resource management of the game, like you collect coins throughout the mission, to which once you go to the safe rooms, you're able to purchase stronger weapons. You have weapons with attachments you can find throughout the battlefield. The scopes do not help. I do not like scopes because the way the scope is structured is just like kind of, it's hard to get a good field of view. I mean, of course, that's what scopes do.
Like everything around the scope.
Yeah, it's an awkward scope is the best way I can put it. Like, especially when you have so many enemies coming from around you. Using a scope, you want to be as far away as possible. In terms of characters, I think they, did a pretty good job designing certain characters and their, personalities and backstories, and it does allow for some replayability because there may be some story beats that occur between two characters that, if this combination wasn't there, it would have never happened. So if you're interested in getting a full breadth of, who these characters are, you may need to play a couple times. And I strongly, if the debate is, I mean, I think by the time this podcast is out, the beta will be over. Yeah. But I would suggest giving this game a shot if you are very much so looking at a Left 4 Dead esque game this fall.
Okay. Then who's on the cast? Are y'all planning on getting it? I think Avery mentioned something.
Well, that's my thing. I'm not gonna get this game unless I have a 4-stack to play it with. Like, this seems very much like a game that at its core is going to be better in its multiplayer form than me sitting there grinding it by myself single player. So unless I have 3 dedicated friends who are also going to get this game so we can run through its campaign together, I'm not playing this.
Yeah. I'm still on the fence about it, but I'll see how I'm feeling and how my money looks by the time it comes out.
When is this coming out?
October. Sometime in October.
Well, actually, I wouldn't be able to play it then anyway.
I'll be in Oregon.
Yeah, but
they have video games in Oregon.
I'm talking about I won't be able to bring my PS5 to Oregon because I'll be busy.
I know. That's what you're talking about, Marcus. I know DJ's making some state-based sort of prejudice right there.
Whoa! I love Oregon. I have family in Oregon.
Boy,
actually, I do.
Name one place in Oregon that's not Portland.
Hey, let me clear that up.
That's a question.
Hey, here's the thing. I didn't even know Portland was in Oregon.
Oh my god, this nigga failed geography.
Hey, guess what? You certainly right.
Nah, but yeah, I might get it. But it probably. No, I think I might get it just because it is Left 4 Dead.
When I did play it, it was via single player, and the AI were competent. They weren't complete liabilities, so it's not like it's impossible to play by yourself. But it would be a more enjoyable experience with other people.
based on because it's a Left 4 Dead type of game, it's by the team from Left 4 Dead. They haven't indicated to me in any way, shape, or form that there's an ongoing narrative going forward that's going to grip me into the gameplay beyond just its more arcade jump in, jump out, multiplayer gaming kind of thing. So like it's the difference between
Was
this.
Left 4 Dead like that, where it was like an ongoing narrative kind of thing?
Yeah,
Left 4 Dead,
I mean,
Left 4
more
Dead
so.
2 had one.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it still was on the bones of Left 4 Dead 1, where it's like none of that mattered. You can jump into any map at any time and go forward, and it wouldn't really matter that the reason they're in area X is because of the event of the last chronological mission.
Yeah, it was just about gameplay.
Yeah, like the difference between this and like I played the game like The Division by myself, and I found no problem with playing that game by myself. But I generally look at a game like this and say it was designed to be played in this state, and that is where I would prefer to play it as.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just me spending $70 and just playing it maybe one afternoon and just not touching it again.
You can always do the online. Just jump online with random people.
Fuck that. I've seen this.
All right, Marcus, what you been playing?
All right. Well, I played a shit ton of Overwatch because that was for about a month the only way that I could hang out with my girlfriend. So that was what we were doing for the most of it. And then I started playing A Plague Tale: Innocence because it was free, and you know it's cool. Yeah. Like it's a game that I could definitely see what Avery was talking about, where it's like AA Last of Us. Yeah. But the AA of it all is very apparent to me. And
okay, I see.
Because of that, there's just some wonkiness in terms of like the way the game plays. The voice acting is fine. It's not distracting at all, but it's like nothing that's gonna like blow your mind. The game looks pretty good. I do. If there's anything that's going to keep me kind of playing through it, it is kind of just like watching the dynamic and the relationship between the main character and her brother kind of evolve and see how that goes, because you know, like the little kid is not annoying, actually. Like he does little things that little kids do that can be a little annoying, but he's also very kind of cute, which I wasn't expecting. But yeah, so I might continue to play through just because I want to see how that progresses. But you know, it's not blowing my mind or anything. If anything, I need to fulfill my duties as a partner and finish It Takes Two with Avery, because I've been busy and I've been neglecting that relationship. And
I want to point out that in our Slack, in our Discord messages, when I called him out for this, he's like, "Oh man, my bad. Yeah, we can play it this week." I didn't get a message from him at all.
I know. Look, man, it's been hard, and I still edit this thing. It's been hard, but we're gonna finish it, I promise.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's a chance that we might even finish it before DJ, because we actually put in hours when we did play. Like whenever we would actually play it,
we're going to get the platinum trophy in that game. We're going to get the platinum trophy in that game.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, we are at the I guess the in the middle of the Wasp and B.
Well, we're already past. We're already past.
We're far ahead of you.
Nigga.
All right. We'll see then. We'll see.
It's a race to the finish.
Right. See y'all next year.
But that's what I've been playing.
All right. And for me, I am just marching through Genshin Impact. I am just adoring this game. There is so much content in this game that it still astounds me that it is a free to play game. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think I mentioned it like the first time I talked about Genshin, where you know you're just out in the world, you're exploring, you see a weird looking structure, very similar to like Zelda and how they did their like, you know, open world puzzles kind of thing. And again, every time I played Zelda Breath of the Wild, I did a puzzle. I would get a Korok seed, and it's like, what is this? And then at the end of the thing, you don't really. It doesn't amount to anything.
Da-na-na-na. It's a seed.
Yeah, right. And it's just
Mhm.
like playing this every time. I think maybe there's a chest over there. I go over there. If it's not a chest, there's something else that is like something that you can use for your characters. And it's just like, man, this game is so rewarding in every facet of an open world game of this nature. And it's just they do a really great job. And I'm just so happy with this game right now. Um the difficulty is kind of creeping up on me now. I'm pretty far into the leveling scheme of this game because there's like 4 or 5 different levels that you have to kind of manage in the game. Leveling that you have to manage in the game. And right now I'm at like world tier 3, which is it kind of scales up with your character's levels. But the way that the game works is when you get a new character, that character starts at level 1, so you have to devote resources to that character to level that character up so that character can actually survive in the world tier that you are currently in. So that part has been kind of a not really a strain.
I hate that that's still a thing that happens. Like,
Yeah,
you would think that by now, just shared experience would be just a thing in RPGs.
yeah. So that's kind of an
Well,
annoyance.
Specifically for Genshin, it's a free-to-play game. It's there to gate your progress.
Yeah. No, I get
Exactly.
it.
That's mainly what it is. Because just like, oh, you got this new character that the new character of the month. It's a cool character, but it's also level 1, so you have to devote resources to level it up. And then another part of the game system is that once you reach a certain level, you have to ascend that character, which requires a different set of materials, and that materials most of the time involves you fighting bosses over and over again, and you can only fight a boss. You can only fight bosses a certain number of time because that requires an energy from a different energy pool, and that energy pool is capped for every day. So there's systems on systems, but for the amount of content that it gives you, you really don't have to spend money on this game. I think I said that the last time I talked about this game. But anyways, I'm having a great time with it, and I am continually playing it. The other thing I want to talk about is not a game, but it is Gundam Hathaway.
All right.
So I'm gonna keep it
You
short.
get to talk about Gundam Halfway. I get to talk about Evangelion 3.1.
Please no.
I'll keep it short. So yesterday I finally finished Char's counterattack, which led to Gundam Hathaway. Gundam Hathaway is probably the best looking Gundam thing that I have ever watched. This movie is so beautiful. The way they treat the Gundams like how we treat Godzilla. There is a Gundam fight that happens, and the perspective is from people on the street, and it is fucking terrifying.
Nice.
Like there is the thing they don't necessarily shy away from people dying and like headshots, but it's not like gory. So there is a part where the Gundams or the mobile suits, they have beam rifles, and they have or they have shields that can disperse the beams or whatever. But you never think about when the beams are dispersed, the beams break up and they shower down. But on the street level, it's literally showering down like molten laser. And you see things like just
Molten laser.
yeah, whatever. I don't know. Okay, look, science, all right. It showers down science stuff, and science stuff, when it interacts with other stuff, makes science stuff happen. Anyway, it's really, really horrifying, and it's really scary. And it's just I never really thought about it from that perspective.
Of course you
And
haven't, DJ, because you love this thing that has child rebel soldiers in it, and you don't think about that. You think it's cool.
Marcus, life is hard. Okay,
Think of the children, DJ.
Yeah. Yeah, DJ
Especially
was
for
super
them.
excited about the U.S. pullout of Afghanistan, and like, oh man, we have a Gundam fighter on our hands. He's like, give us a whole bunch of Gundam fighters. Good.
In all seriousness, though, that is cool that they explored that vantage point for the first
yeah.
time in
Oh, yeah.
the series.
Yeah. Like And then the way that they treat the new Gundam in this, the Gundam feels very alien-like. It has a tail
Mhm.
like Barbados, but the way that the Gundam pulsates, like there's like beam, it's it's literally a floating art piece.
Correction, Barbados doesn't have a tail. Barbados Lupus Rex has a tail.
All right, yeah, Barbados Tyrannosaurus Rex has a tail.
No, it's Lupus Rex. Lupus is in wolf. Rex is in king. Get your shit together, DJ.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Lupus is in that one disease from Dr. House.
So yeah, like in terms of the actual story for Hathaway, it's a little shaky. It feels like it's setting up for more movies down the line where like you're introduced with these characters, stuff happens to these characters, and the movie kind of ends with we just now know that there's two different Gundams. We know the characters, we know the organizations that are kind of pitted against each other, kind of thing. But it's not really in a resolution. So it's just like, all right, that's cool. Like there's gonna be more stuff down the line. So overall, it was a fun watch. It's a really pretty movie. In terms of story, it's a little shaky. But yeah, that's it.
Alrighty.
Avery?
Oh, I get to talk about Evangelion 3.0 because you decided to spend 10 minutes talking about a Gundam movie. Literally, all I've been playing this week is Apex Legends Season 10 Emergence. I'm getting into the swing of the brand new character Seer and the ridiculous new LNG, the Rampage. Once again, Apex is a very interesting place in that with the downfall of Warzone, it is getting the highest surge of players and attention that it's ever seen, which is creating an interesting microcosm and gameplay in the game. Because I'm not gonna litigate this because that would be too long of a conversation. I need Sean here to back me up. But yeah, I'm having about as much fun as I normally do having Apex. That being said, I think my Apex time is starting to dwindle down, not because I'm not having fun with the game, but because I personally hit my skill ceiling. I am never going to get out of plat 4. That's never going to happen. I'm never going to get out of plat 4. I don't have the skill nor the time to put skill into the game. However, what I am waiting for is either the cross progression to become a thing in this game or the cross save to become a thing in this game. Because I would love to get off console and finally play this game on PC. Full time, anyway.
Oh, but you can't because your stuff
No, I have a fucking. It took me a year and a half to get Rafe's heirloom. I am not abandoning that and spending $500 on this game on PC just to get it again.
Yikes. True.
Fair enough.
Right. Well, that has been the podcast for episode 30, season 5. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoy making it. Don't forget to review us on your favorite podcasting app because every little bit counts. So I'm going to say this now to make sure that I do this. I'm working on a little thing that will allow us to do allow you, the listener and viewer, to write us questions, and we'll be able to look at those. So if this works out, great. If this doesn't work out, I never mentioned it. In case you missed any of this, you can find all details and more on our website at pressx2start.com. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel at pressx2start.com/YouTube, or you can go to youtube.com and look up Press X to Start TV. With that being said, you have a great day. You stay safe. You wash your hands and you wash your butt in that order. And then you take care.
Uno out.